I've got a couple of documents in here. I've got a Word document, and this Word document has got a diagram in here, it's got an image, it's got some text in here. So again, you know, the purpose, the systems, the description. So this is kind of a diagram, a document that you would generally work with as well. And then I got another document here, which is kind of an architecture document. So again, it's based on PDF. If you're working with a Visio, you can work with that as well. And you know, we will work with, say, image files and stuff like that. So I've got a group of them, and I'll even show them to you here. I've got a list of documents in here that are, you know, from PDF files to JPEGs to Excel spreadsheets. We'll work with a few of those, but again, I want to show you the flow of using Collaborator. So, for example, if I look in here inside of my Word document, we have a plugin for Word and PDF, for example, and this is an open source plugin. And you can see here it connecting to your Collaborator instance. Once you install the plugin, you'll get a little menu item up here at the top called SmartBear. And inside there, then you will configure to connect to your instance. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this this document, and I'm going to do a sample webinar doc review. Okay, nice and easy. And I'm going to upload that. So what that's going to do is going to upload to my Collaborator instance, my web UI, and I'm going to upload this up and see what's happening. So you can see here straight away I'm inside a Collaborator. So, and as you can see, and those of you that might be familiar with Collaborator, it's a very, very seamless and very, very easy to use tool. The main stages, the main flows are up here, from planning to annotating, where I want to, you know, maybe start off in a formal approach to doing the review. So everyone in one place, and they want to say, look, at this review is based on project A, which is going to do A, B, C, and D. But the bulk of the stages will be inside of this here, where once the author, who is the person that created the document, and that's me, fills in the details around the review, he's going to send that, or she is going to send that to inspection. So this is going to be for the reviewers to review the document, all right? And the reviewer will then review that document, and if they find issues with it, they're going to send that back to rework, all right? And this could go on for a number of iterations until such time that the reviewer or reviewers are happy with the documents and going to send that to completed. That's it. Very, very simple. Can we call it a day now? No. Look at, as it says, the whole thing about flexibility and customization. And you know, the way to do that is, you know, if you're working in different groups. So if you've got a global organization and you've got a team in India, in China, in Europe, and US, and you want to make sure that each one of those locations and each one of those people that are responsible for the document are in sync, we can set them up as a group. And these reviewers will be part of a group, and we can then assign them to that. Then I've got my templates, and this is what drives the customization. This is what drives the kind of the flow, the workflow of Collaborator. And you can see down here, for example, I've got my default template. I've got the likes of an overview and just kind of describe new review. So it's just kind of talking about what the review will do. But if we go and increase that and change that to a more customized flow, you'll see here now that I've got a new field in here. I've got review importance, right? So I can have any number of customized fields in there. They can be multi-value lines, they can be drop down, they can be checkboxes, any type of fields that I can add in there to the review. As well as that, what I've got a checklist. So as part of this review, maybe I'm looking at other parts of other documents that I want to make sure that have been part of this review. And I can just check them off as well. So I can see who's checked them off and when they checked them as well, all right? So again, just remember the whole thing here. And as well as that, you can see here that I've got my participants. And my participants can be customized. So you can see here, moderator, coder, reviewer, tester. These are all customizable. So if I go back in here to my default template again, which will be one that you guys will be familiar with when you start using Collaborator, you'll see here that we've got the standard participants. We've got our author, our reviewer, and an observer. So obviously we've got our author, which is going to be me, who is the person that's created the document for review. We're going to have the reviewer, and it could be more than one. And the observer then is kind of like maybe someone that's new to documentation review, maybe it's someone that's new to the project, maybe someone that's new to the organization. And they can be set up as the observer to review or to see how the reviewer and what they're looking for in terms of document defects, etc.
Somebody that doesn't have to actually interact with the review.
No, so, exactly.
Yeah, like you're saying, onboarding new people to the team who are, trying to get used to the standards that should be adhered to. It's a good option.
Exactly, and that's a key point there, Jack, is someone that you want to show how to standardize, what's the process within the organization for doing a documentation review. All right. Then we got the kind of groups and the people that need to be part of the review. So we need to have at least one author. And as part of this review, so maybe you've got a very complex application and you're very highly regulated. We want to make sure that not just one reviewer, but maybe 3 reviewers need to review this document or this review. So I can set up any number. So at least one reviewer has to review this before they can be completed. All right? So these are all customizable. And I can't emphasize enough how flexible Collaborator can be to work with your environment. So in here, I'm going to add in my participants. I'm going to set myself as the author. And I'm going to set then I'm going to set up the reviewer here. I'm going to set up Bob. Bob's my favorite reviewer. He does a pretty good job in these situations. So I'm going to set Bob up as the reviewer here. And I'm going to add that. So now what I've got, if I zoom in a little bit for you, I've got my author and my reviewer. Okay. Now we do integrate in with other systems. So again, if you want to link up to Jira, you can even create defects inside of Jira. But again, we can link up with Jira as well. Okay, and other systems. So as we go down through, you can see here, once we start working with the document review, you'll see inside here as well. Okay, that's the different. It'll track the different defects, and also you can see here it's also found what's been checked in the checklist.